Hello there, and welcome to the Lost Episodes of Dean of Doom, where we explore the Doom community's deepest reaches. I'm MountPain27, and today's episode will be dedicated to Road to Hades, a Boom-compatible solo megawad for TNT Evolution, and the mapping debut of Rose Holmes. I downloaded Road to Hades expecting to get a half hour of mild nostalgia before moving on to something else, but it cast a spell on me. The first half charms you with homebrewed homages to TNT, approachable difficulty, and a few clever flourishes, but this is just the roller coaster's uphill climb. Road to Hades doesn't defy expectations so much as strip you of the ability to develop them. One-man megawads can sometimes be smothered by a lack of ideas or redundant delivery, but Road to Hades continually reinvents itself, delights in its own creation, and lovingly salutes its influences. As a TNT fan, I am as partial to weird ideas and gimmicks as I am tolerant of their less-than-perfect execution. Road to Hades lacks AAA sheen, but it breathes, and it seems like it was a lot of fun to make. The vicarious joy I got from it helped me to get out of a months-long period of indifference towards Doom, so I decided to write this video as a way of saying thanks. Lost episodes are geared towards Doom superfans who most likely know about this show already, so I'll save you the grading spiel. Also, Lost episodes are not obliged to follow Dean of Doom rules, but today we'll keep them intact. I played Road to Hades on ZDoom, and today's compatibility is Boom. Now, to the WAD. Map 1, Industrial Action. It may look like the work of a mapper still on their learner's permit, but Industrial Action comes at you fast and will entice TNT apologists. The thrash metal, shameless truck and cobweb textures, and low-budget bathroom mirror all evoke good 90s memories, but the high-voltage enemy composition is what got my attention here. Revenants, chain gunners, a Mancubus and sneak-attacking Hell Knight, a bunch of Barons, and not one, not two, but three Archvile ambushes in a map 1 with less than 60 foes altogether. The eager demonic offensive may be off-putting to some, but I personally don't regret indulging the curiosity this map sowed in me. Grade B, difficulty D+. Map 2, UAC Backlot. The unassuming sounding UAC Backlot spends its first half introducing some Hades mainstays. The fleshy forklifts seem like a salute to TNT's Doom cute cave paintings, pop-up monsters will become quite common, and the Pain Elemental announces the megawad's most jarring aesthetic change. Lost souls now idle blue and turn orange when they charge. The fights en route to the yellow and blue keys give almost no indication of what's to come. Under Cyberdemon surveillance, you need to clear a warehouse of grunts, Revenant and Mancubus crate toppers, and 2 Archviles in storage to escape the map. It's a wily fight and again chooses monsters audaciously. The Boom sequence that smushes Cybe in a single crusher cycle and unboxes your keycard is the cherry on top of Hades' first eye-opening encounter. Wave to the human barbecue and boogie on out of here. Grade A-, difficulty C. Map 3, Good Morning Marsmen. A fairly stock military outpost buoyed up by some excellent secrets, Good Morning Marsmen is episodic, but not without a sense of drama. The purring of Archviles and piles of rockets in this powered-down base ultimately foretell more danger than you'll actually meet. 2 of those Archies are harmless Key Guardians, 2 secret Soul Spheres provide ample cushion for mistakes, and thrifty types will have a surplus of rockets. I adore the Gymnastic Mega Armor secret and this barren birthday party, which needs no justification to exist. This is one of the gentlest maps in the WAD. Grade B-, difficulty D-. Map 4, Parallel Dimensions. A petite and lukewarm wormhole tribute, Parallel Dimensions manages to stay afloat with some incisive combat choices and spooky set decoration. The double barrel and the rocket launcher only become available late in the map, making early Revenants and this Archvile mini-boss much more formidable. The blue key is lodged somewhere in the anti-world, where the exit is blocked by ornamental offal, but other routes are newly open. Delve at your own risk. Parallel Dimensions feels a bit obligatory, but its low square footage makes it easy to glaze over. Grade C+, difficulty C. Map 5, Nukage Refinery. Road to Hades' nods to TNT are usually a lot subtler than Map 4. Just like Hangar, Nukage Refinery's exit is right at the beginning, locked behind a red key door, and the SSG corridor reminds me of this little nook where you can rush in and out for the medikit before the monsters get you. Encounters with Archibald claimed most of my attention in this map, especially his rude intrusion at the end of the teleporter fight. The mastermind face-off at the end is a bit contrived, especially since Rose hands you a plasma gun and 240 cells right before it starts. Stilted conclusion aside, Nukage Refinery has a few fun moments with green slime, and its MIDI mixes amicably with the action. Grade C+, difficulty C. Map 6, Argent Drilling Facility. Cozied up in a thick blanket of darkness, Argent Drilling Facility's haunted machinery channels the same mood as Open Season, but thankfully leaves out all the retracing of steps. Mergarok's MIDI gives the map a menacing backbone, and Rose Holmes keeps the geometry simple, favoring large rectangular rooms, scattered fights, and a few key surprises. The secret plasma comes in handy for this devilish pain elemental, and you can dump the remainder of your cells on this Kako, Imp, and Archvile strike. Don't panic at the fake exit. Even if you're bone dry on ammo, the pistons will chew these Hell Knights up. Grade B-, difficulty C-. Map 7, Above the Law. This scrappy iteration on Prison dealt me my first death in the Megawatt and then a few more. The Archvile on the Yellow Key Bridge crimps my style, and the chain gunners and Mancubi guarding the cell block are unmerciful to impatient types. Slugging it out with the perimeter guards and looking for secrets in the lava moat were my favorite parts of the map, and the rest is kinda blurry. Admittedly, the visual design doesn't butter my bagel, mostly because I've seen this exact combination of metal, concrete, lava, and crag so many times, but I do appreciate the light cycle and magical-esque 3D bridges in the maximum security sector, and the point-blank Martian ambush is a zinger. Grade B-, difficulty B-. Map 8, Iron Basilica. Embedded in a long-forgotten quarry, Iron Basilica starts in territory familiar to the Evolutionado, but soon veers off-road. Here, there be carnage. Pop on your headphones, crank the volume, and dish out some death to the tune of J.D. Herrera. This Razzmatazz MIDI partners perfectly with the two large-scale fights at the end. Hold your fire to turn the disaster area into a bloody dance party, and let Cybe bury the boneyard all by himself. Though I continue to appreciate Rose Holmes' TNT riffage, it's the ad-libs that capture me most. Footnote, Iron Basilica hints at this, but Road to Hades' difficulty curve looks a lot more like Scythes than TNT's. Grade B+, difficulty C+. Map 9, Maggot Mothers. Maggot Mothers ditches the TNT script and juices its monster roster with a host of heavy hitters. Rose entwines her high-density kill floors in Hell's hateful embrace, and the MIDI shoots you up with adrenaline while you shoot the place up with bullets and flak. Maggot Mother's decay and dilapidation are noticeably high effort, and it's Rose's first substantive try at non-linearity. Multiple blue key doors allow for a little choose-your-own adventure, but make sure you don't skip the rocket launcher. Shoot every eyeball for yet another secret plasma rifle. It comes in handy for this double-fisted deluge from the fleshy corner pockets. Archviles were to be expected, but the cyber cannon and pain elementals turn a hard rock fight into progressive metal. Props to Rose Holmes for being the first mapper I've ever seen use the split beige and pink guts flat to merge the two varieties. Grade A-, difficulty B. Map 10, Stem of the Rose. A huge, half-empty harbor compound surrounded by a stone garden, Stem of the Rose splits the difference between TNT's similarly green and low-powered Redemption and Alien Vendetta Map 3, with its tight ammo disbursement and seafaring Doomcute. It's sparser on detail than both of those maps, and unfortunately less memorable. The interiors, especially, are a bit too minimalist for my liking. The Secret Weapon 6 is vital for a UV max, but ignoring it might make the map more interesting, forcing you to use wits and frugality to polish off Cybe and the Arachnid Admiral. Blue's insistent, syncopated dirge complements the foreboding outdoor scenes and ultimately keeps the map from slipping into generic territory. Grade C+, difficulty C-. Map 11, Destination Phobos. Destination Phobos might slip between the cracks on first playthrough, but its quick pace and hot-tempered set pieces will jog your memory in a big way. This map is all about rockets. Your mission is to blast through an off-world bound freight storage facility, hotwire a space shuttle, and take a ride to your old stomping ground. Pounding along to Mark Clem's Triangle of Fear, Destination Phobos packs the house with surprise attacks, but Rose gives you plenty of warning for the most difficult one. Flame on. As I age out of competitive Doom playing, I find myself smitten by unusual, ineffective monster combinations like the Spectres, Cacos, and Cyber in this final fight. They don't even try to work together, and that's why it's fun to watch. Grade B+, difficulty C+. Map 12, The Lost Moon Base. The work of an adoring Jim Lowell fan, The Lost Moon Base captures Crater's expansive emptiness and remixes TNT with enough Rose Holmes to make a strong alloy. Familiar silvers, blues, and browns make the gray moonscape all the more fathomless, and these interminable hallways are somewhere between alien and amusing as a call out of TNT's tendency to, how shall we say, exaggerate proportions. Two delightful secrets here merit mentioning. Number 1, the Dopefish lives, he's got a soul sphere for you, and he is a criminal. Number 2, after tripping this pitfall into deep water and crawling out of the sewage to the bathroom, check the mirror. The misaligned texture you see does not appear in real life, but that wall opens for a mega armor and loaded plasma. See also JPCP Map 8. Lost Moonbase doesn't concentrate on combat, favoring old-fashioned corridor hack and slash and pop-up ambushes, especially at the end, but it evokes the vast eeriness of nighttime TNT perfectly, and also provided the screen cap for Hades' title pick. Grade B, difficulty C+. Map 13, Black Sea of Brighton.
Don't have time to play with myself.
Black Sea of Brighton is a major turning point for this megawad, upping the ante on ambition, detail, lore, and hostility towards Doom 3. I consider the first 12 maps of Road to Hades its shareware episode, a TNT fanfic that plays second fiddle to the rest of the journey, but provides essential build-up for Black Sea of Brighton. Clearing out zombified train cars and colliding with invisible walls brings to mind Kama Sutra, and comparisons to Moldy are inevitable, considering Doom Guy's apartment living, the bounty of urban details, and good old demon anthropomorphism. You'd have to be heartless to dislike the giant caution cones, checkout counters, spinning wheels on boxy cars, and this adorable scene of police brutality. There's a very well-hidden BFG in this map, but you probably won't need it. The fields are ripe with monster infighting, but bear in mind that medikits are slim down the stretch. This map awakened me to Rose Holmes' potential. It was here that I decided I would take the highway all the way to Hades. Grade A-, difficulty B-. Map 14, Satanic Panic. Despite its dour lighting and metal-plated mien, Satanic Panic is short and energetic, starting with a domino trap sequence and maintaining a steady clip of gotchas to the last. There's even a literal gotcha in the form of this Cyber Demon Spider Demon meet cute. I recommend playing Matchmaker so you can freely spend cells later. Above all, I appreciate this map for saying what it has to say in 5 minutes. Concise spacers like these can do wonders for player energy. Grade B+, difficulty B-. Map 15, Goodbye Galaxy. I must admit, I'm disappointed that there's no reward for wandering around in the dark. The strong opening shot and the dreamy gloom of Bucket's MIDI oversell the first half of Goodbye Galaxy, which contains some of the most rote encounters in the WoD, but once you reach the ship cockpit and foil this Icarus referencing ambush, things start getting interesting. Smack the kill switch to launch the UFO into orbit, but be careful. Once you do, there's no going back. Retracing your steps through the now repopulated ship is made minimally hairy by some sudden Archvile appearances, but here's the rub. The final fight has no health pickups. Whatever you're at when you teleport from the third shuttle is what you're stuck with. Luckily, it's a basic circle strafe while Cybe kills things, but a few Cacos always get blown far enough away that their fireballs can catch you unawares. With the pavilion secured, you can hit the switch behind the exit and board the TARDIS for a 2-map detour. Goodbye Galaxy works as a transitional bit of storytelling, but it's a bit slack gameplay-wise. Grade B-, difficulty B-. Map 31, Majzarat Mizria, which I believe is a more accurate rendering of Egyptian slaughter than Mizri Halak, suffers from the same obligatoriness that most Secret Egypt maps do, but Rose Holmes can't be creatively kept down. Her secrets are once again organic, clever, and powerful. The plasma rifle in the antechamber and the secret peephole by the yellow key will neutralize the Tomb Guardians, and there's another intuitive bit of platforming for a BFG that's more fun to find than to use. Excepting one incendiary crypt crossfire, there's nothing too hazardous for standard weaponry to handle here. I know there's an unwritten imperative to do Egypt maps in TNT megawads, but this one doesn't leave much of an impression. Grade B-, difficulty C+. Map 32, Hate in Haiti. Alright. Neither a full Monty joke map nor hardcore slaughter, Hate in Haiti limbos to a royalty-free rendition of California Imps while you slosh through demon-infested caverns and fight hundreds of fiends from a tiki bar beachhead. The 2 preamble encounters don't prepare you at all for the total war that follows. The unboxed Mancubi, Revenant Luau, and flock of sandwich-thieving Caco gulls are a picnic compared to the vials, pain elementals, and D-Day of Imps that shows up when you retrieve the red key from its trough. Even with the secret invuln cleaning up all these trash traffic light Lost Souls is schleppy, but there's a mega colada hidden in the shed if you need a pick-me-up, and I do enjoy unhinged sights like this getting Beach Boys accompaniment. The cheerful tone and even more cheerful excess make Haiti a lot more palatable than its TNT cognate. Grade B, difficulty A-. Map 16, Corpse of Cthulhu. When Doomguy was little, the other kids used to say to him, "Step on a crack and you'll fall into a cave desecrated by a dead Lovecraftian horror." He was warned. Rose Holmes spins a masterful yarn here, exposing more and more of the titular beast as the map goes on while treating you to unholy surprises of escalating extremity. The church will rattle even veteran players. Its finicky terrain, with pews scattered in the death throes of the spiny worm, is a frightening playground for the congregation of Hell Knights, imps, pinkies, chain gunners, and no less than 4 archbishops. I see no shame in fleeing this fight. It's probably the hardest in the Megawad relative to its placement. Outlast the Hell Nobles and their bionic boss, take one more good look at this abomination, and ascend to the safety of the surface world, a changed man. Corpse of Cthulhu has all the thrills and chills of Doom Mapping's best creature features. Grade A-, difficulty B. Map 17, Mental Rot Pit. More like rot with 2 T's. Mental Rot Pit seems intent on conjuring the hard-nosed aesthetic of Hell Revealed while slightly softening its kicks to the groin, but the result feels like a leaked Kama Sutra 2 map. The smothering start, stomach-plunging archvile backstabs, tripwired hallways, and tightly packed BFG-able monster swarms encourage reckless attacking in spite of the layout's orthogonal confines. Going down the fast way is a MIDI in danger of becoming cliché, but Mental Rot Pit's urgency and aggression give the Lee Jackson tune new life. In retrospect, Mental Rot Pit's non-sequitur theme and explosiveness make it the perfect disguise for the twist to come. If you say you predicted what's coming next, you are a liar. Grade B+, difficulty B+. Map 18, Deaf, Dumb, and Blind, in which Rose Holmes delivers a monumental abyssal vision with stunning focus, simplicity, and intensity. This place is made almost entirely out of metal beams, floating Baphomet blocks, fire blue, cages, and candles, a bastion of sensory deprivation that feeds on your unease. Despite its Sunder-like scale, Deaf, Dumb, and Blind isn't a long map. It has only 2 fights of significance, but they cast dark shadows. Use no more than 2 BFG balls on the super weapons babysitter because you'll need as much green as you can save for this conflagration of bullets and black magic. The manifest chaos of this encounter is all the more terrifying if you know how scarce health will be afterwards. Don't take stupid damage from the Revenant and Hell Noble checkpoints because there's precious little leeway in the final fight. A calamitous clash of imps, bones, and their cyber commanders. Most of this map's impact is contextual, I realize. Packaging Deaf, Dumb, and Blind with more primitive work makes its abrupt arrival more impactful, but I think that's part of what makes Road to Hades special. To play this Megawad is to watch Rose Holmes grow, and this is the most critical, most breathtaking moment of that evolution. Grade A+. Difficulty B+. Map 19, not the first, not the last. You gotta feel bad for Doomguy here. Even for a shoot first, ask questions never kind of guy, it's not easy to discover that you're a clone, and that your kind is kept in glass boxes, studied, possibly collected, and then disposed of. The title implies that Marines have woken up here before and will continue to, but only true survivors make it out alive. Though Decino's wistful MIDI and the sight of failed escape attempts may tug at your heartstrings, this map demands concentration, and its semi-Tyson action veers close to BS at times, especially if you don't find the secret mega armor. As if waking up from death in a cloning facility wasn't hard enough on our hero's psyche, there's no way to get back on the road to Hades without going down memory lane first. I think this map embodies what the TNT IWAD has come to mean to people. It's synonymous with everything nebulous and alien about the worlds that Doom can create. It represents our innate fear of the new technology and all that lies beyond our comprehension. It may seem strange then for Rose Holmes to throw us this little homecoming party, but I know why she did. It feels good to know that we're not alone in our intimate familiarity with this microscopic piece of culture. This is how TNT fans wave to each other from afar. Not the first, not the last ends with a boom-powered cutscene reuniting with a mysterious friend and conveying you both into darkness once more. Grade A, difficulty B+. Map 20, Tech-Based Babel, I am putty in your hands. With its staggering proportions, vertiginous views, and the familiar churn of horizon at its back, Tech-Based Babel captivates me instantly. This Goliath is perpetually under construction. They'll never stop adding floors to it, even though the lower levels are crumbling into the mud, and all the demon contractors who lost the bid are teeming at the fringes. Rose has excellent instincts for depth of detail. The gargantuan slabs of gray and rugged geology need no embellishment, but her carefully arranged boxes, light sequences, stabs of rebar, mid-texture cranes, collapsed keycard markers, and suggestions of ropes and chains add immeasurably to her map's supersized surrealism. The torrential showdown in the basin is one of my favorite fights in the Megawad. Easy slaughter under the splendor of a spiral galaxy. After this, grit your teeth through a treacherous round of Cyberdemon Minesweeper, take a long elevator ride at the top of the cross-shaped control center, and you'll meet the familiar face heading this entire operation. I leave it to you to fill in the narrative blanks here. All I know for sure is that where we're going next, logic won't be of much use. I knew from the opening moments of Tech-Based Babel that it would become one of my all-time favorites. It inspires wonderment and cosmic dread in equal measure. Grade A, difficulty B. Map 21, treatment test output. Hell is falling. Oh no! I've seen my share of texture soups and glitchy realms, and I usually react to all of them the same way. I wince at the sensory overload, chuckle weakly, and wait for them to be over. In fairness to Rose, treatment test output earns its place story-wise and doesn't fight too dirty, but it lacks Hazmat Hazuma's commitment to pandemonium, the Anadream's abject misery, and Lilith's power to make one's skin crawl. The Startan Void discomfits me immensely, the entire Wolfenstein wing is uncharacteristically clunky, and there's no way in hell anyone would rather poke around for 3 eye switches than just BFG the Cyberdemon here. On a lighter note, the automatic health and ammo dispensers are novel, watching chain gunners get popped up and down by a portrait of Hitler is a hoot, and Resasted area. Grade C+, difficulty B+. Map 22, Fields of Juniper. It's so hard to explain this feeling, this snuggly variety of goosebumps I get while tiptoeing between cartoon trees in pitch darkness, the uncanny allure of powered-down poison factories and narrow, swampy pathways that whisper beware. There's no substitute for Doom's otherworldliness when a great mapper ladles on the creeps, and Rose Holmes proves her mastery over mystery with Fields of Juniper, a lush, atmospheric treasure trove of secrets which turn a survival map into a cinch, mostly. Even the well-prepared will likely be sweating for supplies as they slog through the bog, stalked by swamp things while bullets whiz through the trees. The secret blur sphere helps, but the mud's subtle friction effect makes it harder to dodge the scrambled projectiles. It's ultimately harmless, but I love how Hell Knights quietly emerge from the mire when you pick up the blue card. I'm enamored of this map. It's a love potion made with extracts of Hellbound, Grove, Ghoul's Forest, and Alien Vendetta, simmered in the heat of combat that asserts itself just enough to keep you from feeling welcome in this domain between. Grade A, difficulty B. Map 23, House of Dust. Sweet Jesus. It's appropriate that House of Dust tips its cap to Scythe 2 with this music choice, because Road to Hades gets a comparable giddy-up in difficulty down the stretch. House of Dust is all blood and brimstone, trimmed with pale crags and revenants dancing mad. Rose Holmes seems untrained in slaughter, seeing as most of these fights have more than adequate breathing room, but the nagging shotgunner trickle in the Red Key Wing, the horseshoe of Sunder foot soldiers guarding the BFG, and this Archvile-led rendition of Be Our Guest in the Manor are all pretty sharp-edged ideas. Let's have 3 cheers for chain gunners in massive numbers, and for the secret invulnerability, which turns a fierce final fight into dessert. House of Dust will be a pleasant sort of shock for the hardened Marine, but may buck some more buttoned-down types who have been enjoying the TNT reruns. Personally, I think this was the best possible development for Road to Hades. Grade A, difficulty A. Map 24, Bags of Bones. What the fuck? The Pain Elemental is my favorite Doom monster. Merrily barfing, dumb, screaming skulls everywhere they waddle, they're the purest incarnation of chaotic evil in the game. Their sole purpose in life is to annoy everything around them, and their solution to every problem is to make more lost souls. See Doom Guy? Lost soul, Another demon nudges them, have a lost soul. Lost soul bites them by accident. Lost soul, eat that lost soul for me, will you? Doom lifers like myself hunt lost souls with rocket launchers for sport. So when I first dropped into Bag of Bones, I thought, what a map of culture, only to discover a few minutes later that you simply do not have enough health, space, or rockets to disperse these brown bastards. Both times I played this map, I had to give up and restart it from the beginning. The meatballs don't need more than 2 minutes to generate a clog of auto-cannibalism that will halt you. 4,000 lost souls were born in this playthrough. The asymmetrical MIDI blaring over their endless yowls completes the asphyxia of the whole experience. This is without a doubt the most difficult and harrowing stop on the road to Hades, and it riled me up more than the rest of the Megawatt put together, but it's gutsy, crazy, and unforgettable. Pain tells you that you're alive. Grade A-, difficulty X-. Map 25, Swamps of Styx. Even though its music makes me flinch for Rubik's-related reasons, Swamps of Styx is for unwinding, a 5-minute vehicle for one inspired fight. The thick mud keeps Doomguy immobilized while zombies open fire on you and cacos converge, but thankfully you've got shields on the north, east, and west, and plenty of health and ammo to ride it out. The shooting gallery at the end of Kama Sutra's Miss Sporty is the only stage like this I've seen in Doom, and I can't think of a better application of high-friction floors. That the obvious padding before and after the main attraction is obvious padding is the only mark against Swamps of Styx. Grade A-, difficulty D+. Map 26, Ship of Morons. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to murder the helmsman and his mateys. Now there's no one to steer this vessel safely through the corpse sea. Nah, we'll be fine. Get the yeoman to mutiny against Captain Sive in the bunkhouse, swipe a blue skull from the Archvile Quartermaster, and don't forget to cash in on your free soul sphere for finishing both fights. Ship of Morons is undoubtedly cute, but at the end of the creative super combo of maps 18 to 25, Rose can hardly be expected to... Oh. Never mind. It was wise of Rose to keep the detail to a minimum here, because it's no mean feat to flip an entire map upside down, retexture, scatter stuff on the floor, and invert the functions of doors and crushers. Sure, Ship of Morons could use a bit more wind in its sails action-wise, but I feel spoiled at this point, having seen so many unusual ideas executed so neatly all in a row. Grade B+, difficulty B. Map 27, Vile Colossus. Metal islands in a sea of molten rock, dead bodies dangling like laundry on the line, and a killer MIDI. What more can you ask for? Of all Vile Colossus's challenges, none is more vexing and out of place than this platforming section, which I just could not force my fidgety fingers to perform in this recording. Luckily, there was a super secret just around the corner to raise my spirits. Hey, delinquent.
I'm not the delinquent. I'm a paid actor that looks and sounds exactly like him.
Suspiciously like him, I'd say.
He's still pretty mad at you for killing him last Halloween, you know.
Well, if you see him, tell him I said hello.
Jerk.
Doing my best to set the blush of this lovely Easter egg aside, Vile Colossus did softlock me in the Revenant cage, and it's a bit too easy to earn its visual badassery. Just look at all this cover. Oh well, it is nice sometimes to hit a late megawatt wiffle ball out of the park. Grade A-, difficulty B-. Map 28, Neo Sheol. Neo Sheol kicks like a bull for the first 15 seconds. Tunnel through 9 ranks of imps, give Cybe the slip, and wriggle past the pop-up Archies to earn your first breath. It actually matters quite a bit which side you tackle first. Going into the blackout room without a BFG makes wiping out the Martian convention in time unlikely. Even if you manage it, you almost certainly won't have the ammo to kill the cybers guarding the release switch, though less conservative players can hurry up, slap the switch, and crush them both. The red key side is much more generous, or maybe a little more sloppily designed. There's no reason to linger in the Macubus cage with only a flimsy flock of imps penning you in, so most of the damage you take here will be voluntary. Not so in the final fight, which forks you between semi-distracted cybers and some really annoying sergeants. Hiding behind the raised exit pad protects you from jibbage, but not splash damage, so don't dilly-dally. I like Neo Sheol's moxie, but it's a little thrown together and aesthetically half-hearted compared to the gems that led up to it. Grade B, difficulty B+. Map 29, The Death of Hope and Joy. I'd be very surprised if The Death of Hope and Joy wasn't one of the first maps developed for Road to Hades. The pacing is remarkably disjointed for being such a straight shot, and it's hard to make excuses for texturing this simplistic. A limited palette served the oppressive scale of tech-based babble in Deaf, Dumb, and Blind, but nothing here is half as striking. I've seen too much brilliance from Rose Holmes to assume that this dreadful maze is anything but a new mapper's efforts preserved for posterity, and this ham-fisted invulnerable BFG spam may well have been tacked on to the end in a Hail Mary bid to save the map. It didn't work. Without at least one dud in the Hell episode, it wouldn't be a TNT Megawad, so I choose to believe Rose did this on purpose. Grade D, difficulty A-. Map 30, A Life Worth Dying For. With a final salute to evolution and an original boom-fueled icon gimmick, A Life Worth Dying For goes out on a high note. Ride the living end elevator down, hit the torches in the proper order to evade punishment, and pummel Romero's cranium, which zooms along a circuit of conveyors like a demented toy train. I greet this ending's ingenuity and self-effacing irreverence with flowers and applause. Try derailing Romero at the Super Shoddy for an extra challenge and absolutely 0 bonus points. Grade B, difficulty D. So, Road to Hades contains some of the most profound mid-megawad growth I've ever seen from a mapper, blossoming from the humble tinkerings of a TNT devotee to a dizzying string of head-trippy concept maps and fearless tonal shifts. For a non-community project to sustain such unpredictability without ever really losing momentum is a major achievement. My praise is tempered only slightly by TNT fanboyism. Someone who wasn't raised on Final Doom might not find a kindred spirit in this map set, but it's difficult for me to imagine the player who finds nothing to like in the affable beginning, story-driven middle, and grand finale of creativity. My final grade for Road to Hades is an A-. Difficulty-wise, this Megawad is all over the map, but probably less demanding than half of what you could pull off my shelf. Let's settle on a B-. Now for my Dean's List. Valedictorian, Map 18, Deaf, Dumb, and Blind. Salutatorian, Map 20, Tech-Based Babble. Class President, Map 24, Bags of Bones. And the dunce cap goes to Map 29, The Death of Hope and Joy. Thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to share your thoughts in the WAD down below. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll heart your comments to let you know I've read them. Now, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my generous patrons. Aaron Allen, Agile Jackson, Agu XYZ, Alephany, Alex Topher, Alpha Skeeter, Artisan Talzar, Beatbeard, Birdburn, Blexor, Bitefire, Kappa Bitch, Captain Wave, Cheese Wheel, Christophine Place, Cutman Mike, Damo, Dan, Delirium, Dorothy Miller, EDC, El Inferno, Endless Moose, Fez, Francis T218, Galaquack, General Roasterock, Gothic Box, Griffin Upchurch, Henners Lenners, Henning, Hot Tomato, Idiot Supreme, Jeff Hibbert, Jimmy Paddock, Josh Ballard, Jude, Just Some Schmuck, Just Great 98, Killplane, Quan, Large Cat, Lexi Max, Lumnal, Livin' Dead, Mancubian Candidate, Mark Rowland, Master Drew 117, Matt G, Matthew Gower, McJimbles, Michael Akins, Miracle Water, Mixer, Moko Mothman MM47, Mosicon, MSX, Mullywiz, Neurometry, Nick XCOM, Number 26, Not Obelisk, NX Avery, Omnibot, Painful Hill 72, Pengerzan, Pezavang Jaj, Philip Coffey, Foo, Princess Entrapta, Red Doomed Earth, Reese, Reese Anderson, Roadworks, Roofy, Salt Bad Guy, Santu Pisonin, Saf Needs Coffee, Sean Grant, Snacker Fork, Some Spoony Bard, SR388, Stonemason, Stupid Nick, Sunriser, Sylvester Priss, Tara Cushino, The Lippy Server, TJG1289, Turbine 2K5, Velenex, Video Game Lover, Wandering Autumn Leaves, Why Bemo Not a Crab, and William Huber. Thank you all very much. This is Mount Pain 27, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Dean of Doom.